Hi everybody, I'm Anthony from ComicsHeatingUp.net, and I'm back with Terry Hockness from HocknessComics.com, and we're discussing this week's picks of the week. Terry, I'm going to turn it over to you. You want to give us our first pick and our introduction?
Here's our big picks for comic book releases for the week of December 21st, 2016. It's the last shipment before Christmas this year, and some interesting books. And one that catches my eye right away is Motor Girl #1. It is the second printing. This is from Terry Moore, and the print run on #1 was respectable, but sold out quickly. And of course, print runs on second printings are always much smaller, so I'm going to give this a thumbs up. It's worth the gamble.
Motor Girl #1 from Abstract Studios, Terry Moore's new book. You can't go wrong with a Terry Moore book if you like good art and good story. The second print's going to have a smaller print run than the first print, and it can definitely heat up. We've seen Terry Moore books, especially second prints, heat up in the past. Is it going to be an initial heat up? Probably not, but it is going to have a small print and possibly hard to find. The first print was hard to find. Good story, good art, good book. I give it a thumbs up.
Our next big potential pick is Aftershock Comics gives us Animosity #4. This has been the hottest comic of the past few months. A new issue. Retailers may have finally caught up, so this one's got not as good of a chance to heat up, but still it will be under-ordered, so it's worth gambling on this one as well.
Animosity is such a great book, Terry, that I just see it rolling on, rolling on. Hopefully some kind of media deal comes out of this. It's a cool book. Some of the early speculator heat has worn off, but it's still a great read, great book. I would definitely give this one a thumbs up.
Justice League and Suicide Squad #1. This is a miniseries from DC print run. It's going to be huge for this one. There's going to be variant covers, store covers, etc. So this one's not going to be at all hard to find. Will it sell out? Yeah, it might, but I think this is going to be a tough one to heat up. But long-term, of course, interest, Harley Quinn and the gang. This could be a long-term pick down the road.
Justice League Suicide Squad #1. It was a good read. I read it earlier today. It is your classic crossover fare with the two teams battling it out, but a team of bad guys like Suicide Squad, what do you expect? There are some twists and turns in the books that are neat, and there's two returning characters that are of interest. One everybody knows because he's going to be on every store variant cover, and that's Lobo. It's going to be interesting to see who the second one is. Give the book a peek. It is on the last page when you get to stores tomorrow. And it's definitely worth the look up. It's still going to have a huge print run. Potentially could sell out. DC's not known for selling out books all the time, but this is going to be an easy find. There are some good-looking variant covers or store variants for it, but I don't expect a lot of heat for this book.
Mad Magazine is very under-ordered these days. Last year they came out with a blank cover, the first one. It sold out very quickly and heated up. I sold tons of those. Well, they're doing it again. There is another blank sketch cover out this year. Again, print run will be small. Not as good a chance, I think, the second time for it to heat up, but still might because it's going to be tough to find and a good long-term pick.
Mad Magazine's blank variant covers did heat up the last time they came out. I have seen some on the shelves, and I've grabbed a couple here and there. I do love Mad Magazine. It's one of those books that everybody read as a kid. So, there's the nostalgia factor, but the fact that you can get your favorite artist to do a sketch on it's still pretty cool. This one probably won't heat up as quickly as the last one did or as high. However, it's still a cool pickup, and I'm going to give it a thumbs up.
Gumballs is a new series from IDW. This one looking a little bit more alternative than usual, which means stores may under-order this one. So if people like this one, this could be a surprise hit book. Generally speaking, I don't recommend investing in IDW titles because retailers usually play it safe and they get enough.
Gumball #1 from IDW. Terry's right, it's probably going to be an under-ordered book just because of the indie feel. IDW doesn't get a ton of orders anyway. The thing with books being under-ordered, there still has to be a demand for it. I don't see a huge demand for it. It could be a sleeper, you never know, but right now I have to give it a thumbs down. This is one of those books that I'd rather know where they are as opposed to picking one up on the day of release. Just in case they heat up, I could always go back. Otherwise, I'm not missing out on anything.
And IDW also gives us Gem and the Misfits #1. Gem and the Holograms have been very popular the last couple of years. He's big enough that they thought, well, let's do an offshoot title. So this one should be popular. I think this is a good long-term pick. Short-term, I don't think so.
Misfits #1. I was disappointed that it wasn't my favorite punk band, the Misfits, headed by Glenn Danzig. Instead, it was the Gem and the Holograms Evil Band. Gem and the Holograms has been really popular, and the revival that's been going on has really got the 80s cartoon back into people's hands. However, I just don't see this one heating up. I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Lock and Key, definitely a cult status, classic title of the last decade. There is a new mini-series out, also from IDW. Again, I don't see this one being a surprise hit, unless stores just don't order enough. But usually follow-ups and sequels don't do as well in the speculator market.
The new Lock and Key series is definitely cool. The early issues of the series, Lock and Key #1, definitely shot up with the talks of the media deal. I don't expect this late of a series to heat up the way it did, but it's going to be a good nod to readers and fans of the series. So definitely check it out if you're a fan of Lock and Key. Otherwise, it's a pass for me. I just don't see this one heating up at all.
Star Trek Green Lantern. This is the second team up. And so same thing with this one. I think stores will order enough of this. Not likely going to be a surprise hit, but could be a good long-term pick. If the quality is there, people may want it. And of course there's a bunch of variant covers, so one of those could have potential for heating up.
The first series of Star Trek and Green Lantern I liked because it had the Paul Pope covers, or the variants. I'm a big Paul Pope fan, so I had to pick those up. I don't see the second crossover doing anything. It just seems like one of those crossovers that nobody really asked for. You know, I don't hear fans clamoring, Star Trek fans clamoring for Green Lantern, and Green Lantern fans clamoring for Star Trek. So this one's a pass for me.
Marvel gives us GAMORA #1. This is an ongoing series from the female member of Guardians of the Galaxy. She finally gets her own ongoing series. She's been around since 1975, and about time she gets her due here. So, do I think it's going to sell out? Yes, it probably will. As I always repeat every week, Marvel books are not overprinted these days. Marvel likes second printings, so I'm pretty well guaranteed that's going to happen. Does that mean the first print will heat up? Not likely, but I think there's a small chance, only because it's her first true big series here since the Guardians of the Galaxy craze began a couple of years ago. So it has a chance.
GAMORA #1 is a good read. I read it earlier today. Really appreciated the playoff of the relationship between her and her father Thanos, and her sister as well. She goes out to kill the royalty of this race, and you know, she misses one, so she has to go into, you know, some of the sketchier parts of the universe. Again, the angle of Thanos being her dad and the relationship that they have and the relationship her sister has is really well done. It's a good read. Do I think it's going to be a huge spec hit? No, but Marvel #1s sell out. They go to second prints, they go to third prints, and these #1s do increase in value. It's a good pickup in that aspect. It's going to be a long-term book. It's not going to be a quick flip. However, and I hate to say it, I've been picking up all new Marvel #1s just because they do sell out and go back to reprints, and people are looking for them, and they do go up in price eventually, but it's not going to be a quick burn.
Titan Comics gives us a new miniseries, World War X. Looks pretty cool. Sci-fi, futuristic storyline. These are always popular, and I personally enjoy them. Do I think this is going to heat up? I think it could sell out for sure, as Titan books usually do. They're a smaller publisher, so they don't overprint. And Diamond doesn't usually stock their books as well. Second printing's possible. Will it heat up? Nah, still not likely very much. Maybe just a tiny bit. So should you invest in it? Nah, I'd play it safe and pass on it, but it could be a good read.
World War X, or World War X as Terry called it, from Titan. This is another book that I got a chance to read earlier in the week. It's a pretty good read. It's, you know, your classic aliens world battle, battle for a planet, if you will. It's a good read. It's going to be a small print run. Titan doesn't print that many books. The books do sell out, and they do have followers. Titan has a good following, and people who pick up all their #1s. Is it going to heat up and be a spec hit? Probably not. I am going to give it a thumbs down just because I don't see it being a huge increase. If you're into sci-fi tales, if you're into sci-fi war tales, it's a good pickup. If you're looking for something that's going to you know, double or triple in price down the line, probably not. There could be some people looking for it initially because not all shops order Titan books, and it could be one of those books that you can sell online. However, I don't see it going for much more than cover.
And Valiant is back with Divinity 3. Their super popular miniseries is back in yet another one. And I think this is going to get a lot of buzz. There's a couple of variant covers that are going to be ultra hard to find, And we know Valiant variants have been heating up lately, especially the rarest ones. So that could happen with this. And of course, it depends if the events of the storyline have any effect on the Valiant universe to decide if this book really will heat up long term. Short term, I'm going to give it a thumbs down.
Divinity 3 STALINVERSE. This is my pick of the week. This is kind of the no-brainer pick of the week. It's just they're starting an entire, almost mini-universe based out of this story. There's going to be crossovers with other characters. Divinity has kind of... it gave me a second look at Valiant. It is this and Savage now are the only two books that I pick up from Valiant. However, it's completely different. It reinvented itself with Divinity 2. It's reinventing itself again with Divinity 3. Will it catch the thunder in a bottle that the first series had? Probably not. However, I'm still picking it up. I'm still going to read it. I'm still going to enjoy it. And I really hope that it does, because Divinity is probably one of the best superhero books on the market.
We've got Artful #1 and...
Artful #1. I think Terry summed it up on that one. I don't see this one being a spec pick. New #1s aren't always going to be great picks. It just doesn't always work that way. I can't see anybody making the Artful Dodger necessarily a cool, hip character. Well, that's it for me this week. Terry, you want to close us out? I want to wish everybody happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah. We're wrapping up the year, so Terry, go ahead and finish us off.
Well, there's our best picks for the best new series debuting this week. A few goodies in there, and of course lots of other great reads for sure. So Merry Christmas, everybody, and we hope to see you again next week.